Hello and welcome to week 7. Today I'm just going to be playing around a little bit and having fun with the queries, kind of enjoying what I'm doing here, and point out a couple of the, specifically as these we're talking about today: average, max, min, sum, and count. So these are the aggregate functions that are available in SQL. I'm going to show you a couple of queries that I wrote that use the aggregate functions. We talk about how they work and why they work and what you need to make them work great. And then I may challenge you to write a couple of them. And then we'll see where we go from there. But right now, everything's going good. Couple of housekeeping things for those of you who are working on the final project. Keep going. I've seen a couple of ERDs. They're looking really good. We're week 7. If you are finishing up your ERD design, you're right where you need to be. If you haven't started yet, that's totally cool. You just need to work a little faster and get it done. And I put this in the announcement, but I'm gonna put it here again. So for those of you watching, if you are working on the final project, your writing assignments do not have to be the writing prompts anymore. They can be the just what you're doing on your where you are on your final project, kind of like a journal entry as to where you are on your final project. All right, so let's talk about this. So we're talking about aggregate functions. So aggregates are mathematical functions that take numbers and do cool things with them in your queries. So let's take a look at a couple of these here. I'm just gonna go, so average is the average of a bunch of numbers, obviously. Maximum is the highest number, minimum is the lowest number. Sum is the total of the numbers, and count is how many there are. So let's take a quick look at this query here. This is last name and first name of the actors in the actor table, and then the title of the movie that they're in. Okay, what if I wanted to know just how many movies each actor was in? I could run this query: concat last name, first name as actor's name, and then count film ID as number of movies, and then my inner join sequence here. I'm doing my group by because remember, anything that is not in the aggregate functions of a query must be in the group by clause. And here I did it this way. I did concat a last name, comma a first name, order by last name, run this. And there we go. Christian Ackroyd was in 32 movies. Kristen Ackroyd was in 34 movies. Debbie Ackroyd was in 24 movies, so on and so forth. Okay. So count just tells you how many of a thing there are based on the aggregate function by the group by. Okay. Now let's say here, what's this one here? Let's look at this query real quick. And this gives me an error. This gives me, here we are, actor's last name, title of the movie, and how long it is. So what if I wanted to know how many movies an actor did and the total amount of minutes that the movies lasted? Okay, I could do this. Select concat last name, first name as actor name, count film ID as we did before as number of movies, and then sum of the length of the movies. And this will just take the sum of them based on the aggregates, which is this last name, first name, running now. And there you go. Christian Ackroyd made 32 movies that run a total of 3,765 minutes. Kristen Ackroyd, 34 movies, total amount of time, 3,830 minutes. Okay, so now let's take the same query, let's go a little longer. We're gonna see the average amount of time of this movie. So we're gonna get the actor's name, the count of the films, the total amount of minutes total, and then the average time of the movies, which means they're gonna take all the movies based on by the group by and give the average of that. So it'll be the average, so it'll be 32 divided by that is what it should be. I haven't checked the math yet. I'm gonna hope for the best and just run the query. There we go. So Christian Ackroyd made 32 movies. They ran a total of 3,765 minutes, and they average 117 minutes per movie. All right. Now, why would you run these queries? You probably wouldn't. I mean, I'm just showing you how the functions work. At the end of this, we'll talk about like what you might want to do and the queries you might want to write for something like this. Okay, so now let's do it this way. We have the same query. We got the number of movies, we've got the total minutes, we've got the average minutes, but now show me the longest movie the actor did and the shortest movie the actor did. and just run this. And we've got Christian Ackroyd in 32 movies, 3,765 minutes total, average 117 minutes. The longest movie he made was 185 minutes. That's a long movie. And the shortest movie is only a 3-hour movie. Is it Avengers Endgame? And the shortest movie is 49 minutes, probably like, some kind of indie film feature, something like that. Okay. So there's that. So now, so those are all the ones that we do. So we know, so this is just demo, just an example of how these functions work and how to make them work. So again, it's very, very simple. You just write the query, make sure that your group by holds anything that is not aggregated in the query. Is that all right? So let's look at this one here. So I've got this one. I've got the name, a category name, so film category. I've got the total number of films in that category, and then the total length of movies. So here we are. So in our store, we have 64 action movies that run a total of 7,143 minutes. 66 animation movies. Let's see, we got 57 travel movies. I think sports films is the longest one. So we got more time in sports films. Okay, so there's that. So let's talk about something else. Let's see, each movie has to be replaced. So if we want to know what the average cost of replacing a movie was, let's say we were doing our inventory, and we kind of want to know what it would take to replace the entire stock of things, right? So we'll do this. Name, average replacement cost. So let's run this. And so now we know to replace an action movie, it costs about 20 bucks. So we just know based on genre what it costs to replace a movie. And it looks like they're all pretty much around the same. Okay. So let's look at something we actually might want to do. Okay. So I've written another query here using the customer table, the rental table, the inventory table, and the film table. What I want to know is the customer's name, how many movies they rented, and the total amount of money they've paid. Just overall for the entire, there's no date restrictions here. We're not doing where clause. Just I know the total amount of money that this person spent in our store since the doors opened. So we run this query, and we see that Ellen Hunt has rented 46 movies. I'm ordering by the total amount paid descending. So Ellen Hunt has rented 46 movies from us, and the total money we got from her is $147. Carl Seal, 45 movies, $138, so on and so forth. Now for logistics, this is the last query we're going to look at here that I've written. We want to see how many movies they've rented, what the total cost was, but we want to see the average that they paid per visit. Okay. So we know they rented 46 movies. So they paid on. So here is okay. So here, Eleanor Hunt rented 46 movies. She paid on average $3.20 per movie, and the total she gave us $147. If you multiply that, it comes out to $147. So this is something we want to do. So we want to see, like, how much is people paying for rental? What do we need to up our costs? We need to lower our costs, something like that. So there's a lot of things we can do with this. There's a couple queries I started to write, but I kind of want to challenge you guys to write them. If you're watching this and if you're in need of a little extra credit, here's a couple of challenges I'm going to give you. And if you can't do them, it's totally fine. And then next week or the week after, I'll show you the answers, give you guys enough time to write these. So what if you wanted to know, we did this thing here where was it? Here. Let's see, let's look at this here. Okay, so we got this query here. We know that Christian Ackroyd made a movie that was 185 minutes long. What if we want to know that movie? Could you write a query with all I showed you today, showing me what the name of that movie was, or what the name of the shortest movie was? Could you write a query showing me the longest action movie we had in stock, or the shortest animation movie we had in stock? Could you write a query? And these are things you like. So let's talk about this in terms of your final projects, for those of you doing it. When you're looking at your case studies, you're writing queries that we may need to know, that we want the front end to show, the information that we may want to see. So so we might want to know you know, like if someone comes in and said, hey, what's the shortest comedy movie we have? That's a query we might want to watch. We might want to see, you know, show me the shortest comedy movie. Show me the longest drama movie, you know, something like that. You know, show me the longest film by Kim Allen. Okay. We can also look up things like, you know, what staff member has rented the most movies to people. Okay. So, and then on what staff member has brought, let's say we do commissions and we, you know, give them, you know, 10% of what they make, what they bring into the store. So we need to know, we need to write a query. Can you write a query that shows me how much each staff member has brought into the store in a given month? Okay. Something we need to know. What else do we need to know if we're writing a database for a movie store, movie theater, or a video rental place? Which genre is rented the most? Which genre has the most actual rentals? So we know, you know, and which customers have rented. Let's say it's February, and we're going to do a special for Valentine's Day. We want to know how many customers have rented romantic comedies and when they did, and send an email to them giving them 10% off on the last thing. Let's say we have a contest to see who could watch the most amount of minutes in movies in a month. You know, and so we don't know that they actually watched them, but we know they rented them. So can you tell me, like, which 3 customers watched the most movies in minutes by minutes in the last 2 months? When you're doing your final projects, when you're building a database and you're doing the first part is the ERD, the tables, how the data is sorted, all that other stuff. But remember, that's only half the job, maybe only a third of the job. The rest of the job is how do you get that information back out in a way that people want to see and information they need. No one needs to know this query. No one would ever need to know this because this doesn't tell me anything. It tells us that Christian Ackroyd made 32 movies, but I don't know what they are. I don't know. The total minutes is 3,700 minutes. I don't know what they're rated. I don't know. It says the average is 17. I don't know what the name of the longest movie is. I don't know what the name of the shortest movie is. So we want more information on these. So I'm just giving you just the basics on how this is going to work. So again, let's see. How many customers? Which genre brings in the most money? Okay, what genre? What category of rental brings in the most money? So like if we have like thousands of dollars coming in with rental with romances, but like no one's buying foreign films, maybe we have a deal on foreign films. You know, so this is all the things you need to know. Okay, enough said. It's a light week on content because you're just doing the aggregate functions, most of which you already talked about. I've just kind of gone over with them. I'll put these queries in the announcement with the video so you can play with them. And again, any of the queries that I've mentioned said, can you make this? Can you make this? If you send them to me, email them to me, I will give you 5 points extra credit for up to 3 queries that I will just spread across whatever assignments you need points in. Okay. I'll add 5 points, or I'll just add, if you're doing the final exam or the final paper, I will add the extra points into the final exam or the extra paper. I think that'll work best. So you can get up to 15 points of extra credit in the final exam or the final project if you write me 3 queries if you just rewind back into what I said about, you know, could you write this or could you write that? Okay. If you have any questions, as always, reach out to me. Let me know how I can help. I'm always here, and we can make some appointments. Other than that, have a great week, and I will talk to you next week.